Hey everyone. So today is February 23rd, Sunday, 2 weeks in the carnivore diet. Still feeling great. So like usually, like last Sunday, I wanted to do a longer video. This time I actually wrote down a nice little checklist on my iPad so I wouldn't forget. So getting into the beginning of this, if anybody's watching it for the first time, my name is James Simons. I'm going to be 32 this March. Yeah, 32 this March. And I was in the military for about 8 years, got out, now I'm back being a full-time college student, trying to earn my master's in educational psychology, due to a lot of gaps that I found when I left the service with just medical care and transitioning and switching out. I found that it was kind of difficult for me um, getting out and trying to get back into the real world, being diagnosed with severe anxiety, clinical depression, and PTSD, along with the back, hip, legs, and multiple dents in my skull um, from being deployed overseas. So, with all of that, my health and medical history with dieting has been a real yo-yo. Always been I was a big kid growing up, very big boy till about high school, and I ended up finding a little dance game called Dance Dance Revolution, if you can believe it, which I played constantly through high school, dropping a bunch of weight and then, not drinking any soda. Lost a bunch of weight back in my heydays of 17, 18. Then fast forwarding to when I was about 22, right before I actually joined the military, I remember one of the big things that made me push towards joining the military was a close friend of mine joined and told me how amazing it was and how, great he felt after he was done. So, sorry for messing with the camera a little bit. I got this new camera to make it clearer for you guys to see me. And I remember it because I was walking up the stairs to my apartment, and I only lived on the second floor. And walking up the stairs, I, was out of breath. Hold on, this is just gonna bug the hell out of me. I was out of breath, and I was 22, and I remember walking into my apartment and just thinking to myself that this is horrible. This can't be right. And pretty much the next day, I went down to the recruiter's office and joined. Um, in basic training, I really worked worked my butt off to get to where I was. Ran my final PT test. I think I finished. Gosh, it's been so long now. 2010. About 60, 70 push-ups from doing none, and about 80 sit-ups, and then I finished my 2 mile run in 12 minutes flat, like 11:59. And then ever since then it was just yo-yoing up and down, becoming a dad. Deployment was really easy. You're sweaty all the time. I was wearing probably an extra 75, 80 pounds of kit, 24/7, always outside, never know when you eat, always drinking water. So when I came back, I was super lean and super in shape. And then, of course, you go back to the real world, don't know anything. And then my last few years before I got out of the service is when all the medical issues started happening. And at one point, I really tried to pretty much, commit, suicide. But I was trying to do it with food, oddly enough. I mean, large pizzas every night, drinking, uh, boneless chickens, always ordering in from anywhere. Sometimes it was really sad at times, but yeah. Then I got out of the service, came back to Florida, found out about keto way before keto was what it is now. Really weird how I think I heard about keto from like a medical friend in like 2016, and then read more about it, started doing it in 2017, and lost a lot of weight. I think I lost 60 pounds. And then the same thing as usually happens, you lose focus, you lose the goals, and just started having fun and got a new relationship and was just happy, you know. Um, so now we're back to here, which Carnivore I actually heard about from Sean Baker on the Joe Rogan podcast, probably 2017, beginning of 2018. And I thought the concept was weirdly normal. Because if you really think about it, it makes the most sense for just humans in general, for us. And it wasn't until I started really thinking about it, I started seeing small gestures about it. I mean, you can see it all over, like movies or older films, and it started to make me think about how kings and lords, they wouldn't let anybody steal their meat and let them hunt. They wanted all the peasants to grow crops, eat the grains, but the meat and the protein, the real food, was meant for the royal family. And that's just something I noticed from now on. So that's my story up till now. Another quick thing, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but I'm actually a TED speaker. I gave a TED talk last year, the beginning of 2019. I was fortunate enough to give it on my experiences with the military and my transition out, and how I feel about mental health and what drives me to pursue my education in the mental health field and psychology to try to help other people. And another big reason why I'm doing this, because some of the big things I always see with the carnivore diet is the help of people's, mental clarity and mental understanding. And for somebody that's dealt with a lot and then still now dealing with my own image issues and confidence issues, it's a real uphill battle. But hopefully, this is something that's really worth it in the end. So, uh, and with that, I'd like to thank everybody that comments and likes the videos and says the nice things and tells me their stories. I really appreciate all of it. I'm going to leave a link in this description about the TED Talk that I gave. More than welcome to watch it. It's something really personal to me and something that I put a lot of work into. But thank you. So going on to checklist two. So future videos. So I'm going to keep doing these updated videos, and every Sunday try to have a long one. But with the good news, I wanted to bring this up. This came in the mail, the Carnivore Cookbook. This thing is amazing. I highly, highly recommend it for anybody. And I think what I'm going to do is, I was talking it over with the family. I'm going to pick one meal from this every Wednesday and record myself making it, like serving it, seeing how it is, seeing how easy it is to make it the groceries, or if there's some kind of switch you have to make between like where you are, because I live in Florida. All my meat comes through butcher box, and like every once in a while when I go out, I just recently find a butcher shop. I'm gonna try to get a hold of that, see how it works out. But I feel like that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna start doing that on Wednesdays. If anybody else has ever cooked anything like that, or is doing that, or even wants to follow, please let me know. So then going into three, my personal goals right now is clarity, understandings, and weight loss, of course. With being over 300 pounds, my goal is to be 200 pounds. That's the end goal. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a long time, and maybe I'll never reach 200, but that is my goal. My goal is to not be like three people walking around. It's not good. And growing up, I know everyone always says like, "Oh, you're a big guy. You're a big guy." I don't like being a big guy. You know, some of the worst fears I have is going to a theme park and sitting on like a ride or a roller coaster and the seat not clicking. I don't know if anybody's ever felt that fear or know what that's like. It's the most devastating thing ever. You become like one of those public freak shows where they come over and they have to, either all the employees have to sit there and push it down on you, or they escort you off, and they just say sorry, this just wasn't made for you. And that's just, it's really embarrassing to me, and it just really hurts. So that is my long-term goal, to not feel or have that happen to me again. Going to number four, personal views. This whole diet has been really eye-opening in many ways. And with something else I wanted to show you, another book I highly recommend is this one. It is The History of Genghis Khan and the Makings of the Modern World. This is a really good read for somebody. I love history. And now that I'm starting to expand my reach into other people's history, they've got some great articles and some great information in there. And if you really read it, you can see that they did a lot of things that people don't realize and had a mentality that really fit, that would fit pretty well in today's society if we really cherished it. I mean, obviously they took down a lot of people, but I mean, that's going on right now. I mean, America is still at war, even with me being out and God knows what else. But not to get into politics, another great read. Um, Update on my weight, that will be tomorrow. Probably, yeah, it's probably tomorrow night. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow morning and do my normal workout routine and weigh myself in for it being the next day with after the 2 weeks. So that'll be the next thing I do there. Tips and tricks so far, I found out somebody commented asking if I eat cheese. On occasion, I have, but now that I have the Carnivore Cookbook, I read a couple things about levels 1 and 2. If you want to increase the weight loss, is to remove all dairy products and eggs. I'm going to see how that works going in now further, going into week 3. I'm going to try to remove all dairy. I haven't really ate too many eggs. I had scrambled eggs this morning. But I'm going to try to cut out all dairy altogether. I haven't really had a lot, I'm not throwing cheese on everything I eat, but I'm going to try to cut all of the dairy out altogether and see how that works as well. Um, Helpful information. I mean, obviously, I just recommend this. This is another book I just got, The Carnivore Code, from Paul Sanadino that I know I've spoken to many times. Carnivore Cookbook I have now. The first book I bought was The Carnivore Diet by Sean Baker. I highly recommend all those. Also, another big thing, just go on YouTube and just start looking at all the conversations people are having. I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger every day. Obviously, go to MeetRx. There's people there constantly. Another great thing is if you have, I don't know if they have it on Android, but I know on the iPhone they have a Carnivore Diet app you can download for free, and it has the 30-day Kickstarter, intermittent fasting, all of that completely free. Um, I highly recommend that too. And last and final thing, future goals. Like I said, I'm going to keep making these videos every day, whether people watch them or not. If you do, thank you so much. If you're not, why aren't you? I mean, I'm awesome. Like, but but yeah, I'm gonna keep making these. I'm gonna start doing the cooking videos on Wednesday and see where things pick up from there. Hopefully as I get longer, I mean, further down this journey, I'm able to get more information, maybe get to meet some of these people that have helped so many. I'm gonna try to start making a list of success stories and seeing how I can figure out how to get this whole camera thing to maybe like post them in the back or put links to them and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is it. Where are we at now? 13 minutes. Yeah, so really great. Um, yeah, I mean, thank you so much. I hope my own story in some way helps everybody else, like in everything I do. So until then, see you guys on the next one. Bye.